Gentil. Gentil.
Okay, well once again, good afternoon everybody, and welcome along to the first of today's sea lion displays. My name is Jake, and as you can see, I brought two of our sea lions out to meet you all. And the first job for these two is to give you all a nice big wave hello. But I've got a bit of a problem because these two, they won't wave to you unless you're all waving at them first. So everybody, stick around in the air and wave it around a little bit. Come on, adults, don't be miserable, join in too. I can see everybody. There we go, that's who's there. Ladies, let's wave back there, say hello to everybody. Excellent job, very good. So these two, they are both California sea lions. And as that name does suggest, you can of course find the largest population or the biggest breed of this particular type of sea lion all along the coast of California. Now you can also find them as far north as Canada, but it does become pretty cold, and as far south as Mexico, where of course it's lovely and warm. So this type of sea lion is quite widespread all across that western Pacific coast of America. Naturally, these such a wide range of species means the weather we get here in the UK doesn't really tend to bother the sea lions one tiny little bit. Whether that be our really hot summers or really cold winters, mild days or warm days on a day like today. As I say, the weather here in the UK, it doesn't bother these guys one tiny little bit. Let me introduce you to them, so you know who's who. We're going to start with a little fella who sat over there in the corner first. This little guy, he's called Louis.
They're like little doggies.
He's the youngest of the three sea lions that we look after here in Knowsley. Louis is 10 years old. So as I say, he's the youngest of the three sea lions we look after here in the park. Now Louis is a very clever little sea lion. Quite a laid back little sea lion, not really tends to bother Louis. He can be quite a vocal sea lion when he wants to be, so he can shout a lot during the display. But he's also a really friendly sea lion as well. And hopefully, Louis going to show you all what he knows during this display. So like I say, that's little Louis. Now the big fella who sat over there in the other corner, he's called Arthur. Arthur, he's the biggest and the eldest of all the sea lions that we have here in Knowsley. Arthur is 20 years old and he's weighing in at a massive 24 stone. So he is quite a big fella. Now, out of the three sea lions that we have here in Knowsley, Arthur, he is definitely the naughtiest. Yeah, that's right. He's the most likely to come out. He causes trouble whenever he can, and as you'll tell during the display, Arthur does also like to make quite a bit of noise. But like Louis, Arthur is a really clever sea lion, and he's also really friendly as well. So what I'll do, I'll say a quick hello to him, and then we'll get started with the display. Alright Arthur, listen, you're going to try to be a good boy in this display. You are, you? He always says that, how would that feel, yeah? We'll have to see how he gets on. So now you know who the two of them are. The first thing that we'll get these two to show you all this afternoon is an ability that sea lions are famous for. And that of course is the ability to balance things on their noses. So I think what we'll do is we'll get started with Louis and we'll get started with this giant fish.
Nemo!
Now everybody knows that sea lions can balance things on their noses, but what not everybody knows is actually how they do it. And the secret to the balancing is in the lovely long whiskers that you guys can see on the side of Louis and Arthur's faces. Those whiskers, believe it or not, they're actually really, really sensitive. They're not strong enough to hold the fish or to move the fish in any way. But what they should be doing is they should be feeling which way that fish is moving, and all Louis has to do is listen to his whiskers, then move his head around with his long, flexible neck in the right direction to try and stop that fish from falling off his nose. So as long as Louis listens to his whiskers, he should be able to balance that fish on his nose all day long. Now, those whiskers, they do of course have a much more important use. Of course, the whiskers aren't just there to help the sea lions balance things on their noses. But there is a really big connection because in the wild, sea lions use those whiskers to feel for different movements and to feel for different vibrations that are made underneath the water. By doing that, helps the sea lions to pinpoint exactly where their food is. A sea lion eats fish and squid for a living, And when fish and squid swim, they create different vibrations in the water using their tails that the sea lions can pick up on with those whiskers. Now, just by listening to their whiskers, sea lions, they already know what type of fish, how big it is, and how many there is, without even being able to see it first, just by picking up those vibrations with those whiskers. So once again, those whiskers, they are a really important lifeline when it comes to the sea lions being out in the wild. Right, he's dropped it, right, Arthur, if you can, push it back this way so I can get it. Or not. Just leave it floating around for 2 minutes there, shall we? Yeah, right, tell you what we'll do, we'll get our back onto the stand, and we'll just swap the fish with this blue fish I'm going to here, because I want to show you guys this, because when Arthur does it properly, it is actually really impressive, okay? So Arthur, we'll get back onto the stand just for a second. Okay, you stay there. We'll leave that fish swimming around in the water, and we'll get this one instead. We'll just try with this one, and it's no problem. So what we want Arthur to do is go from this corner here, what he's going to do is jump into the water, swim all the way across to the other side of the stage, jump back onto the stage, and back onto the stand, without dropping the fish. And if he does it, you guys are going to give him a huge round of applause. And here he goes into the water. He's got to swim balance and listen to his whiskers all at the same time. And let's see if we can get that fish all the way back to the stand without dropping it. Not way off. Come back this way. Come back this way. Back into the water. He's such a molly. Right, bring that fish back. Right, listen. When have you ever gone to that stand over in the middle? Okay? You always sit on this stand, don't you? Right, into the water then, jump into the water, and we'll go from this way here instead, okay? So, put the fish onto your nose, that's it, back into the water, and get back to your stand without dropping it. Come on, Arthur, you can do it. Last little bit. Go on, give it a big round of applause. Oh, he's got big in the end, there's a good boy, well done. So, as I keep saying, these two, they are both sea lions. They're not seals. People call these guys seals all the time, but it isn't true. In fact, Louis, how do you feel when somebody comes into the building and calls you, I think you got it, calls you a seal? And that's because seals and sea lions are actually two completely different species. Now, to be fair, they do look very similar, but there are still very big differences between them. So, between the three of us, we're going to show you all how to tell the two apart. The first thing you need to look for is how do they swim. A sea lion like these two, they would only ever swim using their big front flippers. Arthur, do me a little favour, show everybody your big front flippers. Let's have a little look. Where are they? There they are, very well to you. And let me concentrate, let's see your flippers as well then. Yeah, there we go, it's very well to. So, as you can see, these two, they've got massive front flippers. And they use these front flippers to swim with in what looks like a flying motion. So, the sea lions move these front flippers up and down through the water, just like this. And that can propel them both at speeds of anything up to around 20 miles an hour, so they can swim pretty quick. If these two were both seals, their front flippers, well, they'd actually be about the same size as my hands. And a seal's front flippers would be stuck to the sides of the bodies just like this, making them pretty difficult to swim with. So seals, when they swim, they have to swim using their back flippers instead, and a seal will move their back flippers from side to side just like a fish. So the way that you swim is very different. Now because Louis swims using his upper body, means over time Louis builds all his muscles which he builds up in his chest and in his shoulder, which means that Louis is incredibly strong. But Louis is also really good at a little bit of gymnastics. So we go, Louis, let's show him a full flipper stand. Yeah, just like that. It's cool, isn't it? What he's showing you here is what we call a full flipper stand. Only sea lions can do this. Seals can't do this one because the seal's tiny front flippers, stuff like this, just wouldn't support all that weight. By Louis doing this, he's showing you all how strong he is in his upper body by holding all his body weight on his two front flippers. Yeah, give Louis a big round of applause. Now, there is actually a much better way, a much easier way to tell a sea lion from a seal. And I've actually seen the best difference to last. Because the best way to tell a sea lion from a seal is to watch how they move when they're on dry land. So I'm going to take Louis for a little walk around. What I want you guys to do is just watch how Louis walks across the stage. Now before we set off, what I'm going to do is bring Louis down to the front because I want to tell you guys a little bit more on the sea lion's back flippers. Sea lions are really unique. These guys have the ability to turn these back flippers to face forwards or backwards depending on what they're doing. So the sea lion's back flippers, they're on a ball joint. And when they're swimming around in the water, the sea lions stretch both of these back flippers right out behind their bodies, and that's what they use to help them twist and turn through the water as they're swimming. But as you can see, now that Louis jumped up onto the side, he's now tucked his back flippers forwards, he's tucked them underneath his body, because that's what he's going to use to walk. So watch, as we set off, you guys can see that Louis uses all 4 of those flippers as separate walking limbs. His front flipper is bent in the middle, and like I say, his back flippers are tucked underneath his body, which lifts Louis' belly up off the floor. So he's walking with me now in exactly the same way as a cat, a dog, or any other four-legged animal would walk. Now for a sea lion, that's brilliant because it means that sea lions are really mobile. If Louis ever needed to, Louis can jump over things. Louis can stand on his back flippers as well, so he can jump up and he can try to reach up high for things. Sea lions can run at speeds of about 10 miles an hour, and they can also use their flippers to roll themselves over as well, can't they, Louis? Yeah, just like this. Right there, let's have one more, let's walk over one more time. Yeah, a big round of applause. So as you can see, sea lions, when they're on dry land, they are fast and they are mobile creatures. Now a seal would move in a completely different way, and Louis, he's going to show you all exactly how a seal would move. Aren't you, Louis? Right, Louis, come on, then come down to the stage and show everybody how does a seal move. Louis,